friends! So we're finally ready to put this booklet or the zine into a book and put it all together. I'm going to show you various materials that you can use. So obviously you need some kind of thread. It's best to use a very thick kind of thread like crochet thread, or you can see I'm using a wax line there. Then you don't need to wax the thread. Or you can use embroidery thread. And if you want to wax it, you're going to need a candle. That is this maroon colored thread is embroidery thread. It also works really, really well. Then obviously you're going to need some kind of needle, like a couch needle or an upholstery needle, like I'm illustrating to you there. Or you can use a darning needle. You're obviously going to need a ruler, some pair of scissors. You're going to need a cutting blade. You're going to need an awl. Some kind of clip. Bull clips work really well to keep the pages in place, and some wood glue or paper glue. Nice strong glue. And then some kind of material. Any kind of material works really well. And that's about everything that you're going to need. All right, so we've already cut all the pages for the booklet, and you can see in this example I have used a blue cardboard stock as the outer cover. Then you measure, I've measured here 3 times the height of the booklet. That is more than enough thread. You actually can get away with 2 lengths of the height of the booklet of thread. I'm here waxing the needle, I'm waxing the thread. It makes the thread more durable. It's going to last a lot longer. It's going to be resistant to fraying. But this is a very small booklet. The zine is about 4 pages in thickness, so technically you don't need to do it. You usually wax your thread for thicker books, but I'm just showing it to you here, so it's a good tip to know if you're going to start making your own notebooks. Then I open all the pages to the center fold. You can remember in our example it was page 8 and 9, and I'm using the ruler to rule out 3 spots where I'm going to make holes in the spine, and I make sure that they are evenly spaced in between. This zine or booklet is very small once again, so 3 holes will be more than enough to create a sturdy bind. If your booklet was double this size, I would suggest 5 holes in it. I'm using the awl to make the holes so that the needle can pull through a lot easier. And I'm going to use some bull clips, or any kind of paper clip. Works really well just to keep all the papers together of the stack as I'm going to press in and create those holes with the awl. And I'm just turning it around to make sure that the hole went right through. And I'm using a cutting mat for this because I don't want to create indents on my tabletop. You can see I'm pressing it right through. Those are the 3 holes that I'm illustrating, and I'm just using a bone scorer to flatten out some of the volcanoes, the paper volcanoes that the awl made. So now I'm using my darning needle, but you can also use an upholstery needle. They actually work really well as well. And I'm putting the thread in, and I'm starting from the center, the outside, and I'm leaving a little tail behind. That's for the knot at the end. And then I'm pulling it through at the one top inner, and it comes out again, goes through the center to the inside again. And then I'm going to pull it through the last hole from the inside again to the outside, or the outside cover. And then I'm hooking the needle underneath the thread on the left side. And I'm going to make a very nice knot just to secure it in place. I've also used this dark red thread or maroon colored thread in this example just to illustrate how to do it a lot better, so that the thread creates a nice contrast. But when you do it, I would suggest using something like light, like a white or a cream thread, so it is not as visible in the center of your spine. All right, so there I've made the knot. It's nice, tight, and secure. You can see how neatly it looks in the spine on the inside. I'm just using the bone scorer again to press everything nicely down into place. And now you can cut the surplus thread off. You can see how neatly it looks. You can leave it just like that, but if you don't want it to show, if you don't want that knot to show on the outside, I'm going to show you how you can hide it with a piece of material. So I'm going to use a very nice ribbon here, and I'm just cutting it to the height of the booklet. Adding some glue, some of that paper glue. It's going to be strong enough to keep everything in place. I usually don't use glue on my cutting mat. I'm very particular about keeping the cutting mat only for cutting, but for the sake of this demonstration, I just kept it on the cutting mat, but I had washed it afterward. I don't like a dirty cutting mat at all. I'm just using a piece of paper to spread the glue evenly over the piece of ribbon. And I'm also securing the knot with some of that glue. Now I'm taping the ribbon to the booklet, and I'm turning it over and fastening it onto the other side as I'm demonstrating. And that's it. Now you're going to leave it so that the glue has enough time to dry. I'm just going to show you the binding process again, but this time I'm not going to use the wax or the paraffin wax on the thread. I'm using a waxed line instead, but you can also use ordinary thread. Just use more than one strand. Make it stronger by using 3 strands, for example. Here you can see I'm using 2.5 lengths, and that's more than enough thread. As I've said before, 3 lengths is actually too much. It'll be a bit of a waste for your thread. So 2.5 thread length of the height of the booklet is more than enough. Again, I'm using the clips to keep all the papers or the pages in place. Then I'm going to use the ruler to measure 3 holes or 3 dots where the holes will be punched by the awl, and these dots just need to be evenly spaced. You can apply this method to any booklet, any sized booklet. Just make sure that the number of holes are always an unequal number. There I'm using the awl again to make the holes, turning it around to make sure that the hole went through on both sides. Sorry for my head. I'm using the darning needle again, pulling the thread through the eye. I don't need to make a knot at the end. We're just going to leave a little tail, pull it through from the outside to the inside of the booklet. I leave enough tail to make the knot at the end. Then from the inside, I pull through that second hole to the outside. Then I'm going to the center hole again. So from the outside, back, pulling it through into the inside. And then the last hole from the inside, I pull the needle through again to the outside. Then I'm going to fasten it by making a knot. You can see what I'm doing with the needle to secure it in place, to secure the thread in place. Now I'm going to tie everything with a basic knot so that it's nice and secure. You can cut off the excess thread with a pair of scissors. You can take off the bull clips because everything is now secure and in place. Look how neat that spine inside looks. I'm just using the bone square to make the holes nice and tidy and also to flatten out the zine on the outside. And here I'm illustrating how you can use an ordinary piece of textile. If you don't have a fancy piece of ribbon, any kind of cotton or a very stiff type of material will work really well. You just cut it to the desired thickness and length. I'm using the glue again, the paper glue. I'm just using a piece of paper again to spread the glue out evenly and so that nothing leaks out from the sides when I fasten it or glue it to the booklet. And you can see how I'm placing the strip of textile or material one half on the one side, and it covers the spine, and then I secure it on the other side of the outer cover. That looks great. Now I'm just gonna leave it, give it time to dry. Very nice. Hooray! Our zine is complete. So I just wanted to show you what the final product looks like. As you can see, for the cover, I made a beautiful cover design and I made color prints of them, cut them out to size, and pasted them onto the blue cardboard stock. And this was just to save money because it is a zine, and zines were intended to be cheaply printed storybooks. It's a great way for you to get your stories out there. It's a great product to create that you can give to gifts to your friends or to clients. You can decide. It's just a great way also to learn to tell stories and, as I said, to create completed products. Now you can make your own zine. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to see what you made. See you in the next video. Bye!